good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I am Samindra Jayabodhana. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Central Bank predicts boost in investor confidence after parliamentary election. Government increases minimum certified purchasing price of big onions by 20 rupees. News in detail. The central bank announces that the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate, which were at 6.5% and 7.5%, will not be changed concerning the slowdown in economy due to coronavirus. This was announced by the Governor of the Central Bank, Professor W.D. Lakshman, at its second monetary policy review for the year at the Central Bank premises today morning.
The Monetary Board, which met yesterday, decided to maintain the current accommodative monetary policy stance of the central bank. As such, the policy interest rates that were reduced by 50 basis points will be maintained at the reduced level. We urge commercial banks to pass the benefit of our policy rate reduction in January to the borrowers without any further delay. At the same time, the Monetary Board extended an assurance to the market that adequate liquidity in domestic financial markets will be maintained to weather any impact arising from global developments, particularly due to the spread of the coronavirus or COVID-19. We have observed policymakers in many economies respond to the rapid spread of the virus through the globe. It is expected that these accommodative measures will continue until the global economy shows clear signs of recovery from the current fragile state.
Speaking further at the second monetary policy review, Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman stressed that there will be a boost in investor growth with the political stability followed by parliamentary election and a budget allocation.
Nevertheless, we expect the Sri Lankan economy to do better in 2020 than in 2019 and record a growth rate of around 3.5 to 4%. Following the elections scheduled for end April 2020 and the convening of the new parliament in May, the expected political stability and the presentation of the budget will boost investor confidence further.
The government today increased the minimum guaranteed price for purchase of big onions from farmers. The Minister of Finance announced that the price was increased from 60 rupees to 80 rupees per 1 kilogram. The Finance Ministry announced that an increase of 20 rupees will be in effect per 1 kilogram of big onions while purchasing from the local farmers. The decision comes after the Cabinet of Ministers last week decided to increase the minimum guaranteed price for purchase of big onions from farmers. The proposal in this regard was submitted by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in his capacity as the Minister of Finance. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the bill to implement the proposed action plan of National Financial Inclusion Strategy formulated by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. This was announced by the co-cabinet spokesman, Minister Dr. Ramesh Patirana, at the weekly cabinet meeting held this morning at the Department of Government Information premises. The weekly cabinet press conference was also attended by the co-cabinet spokesman, Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. During the press conference, it was told that the proposal to implement the National Financial Inclusion Strategy and its action plan prepared for enhancing the financial inclusiveness of Sri Lanka with the contribution of the relevant stakeholders by the central bank was given cabinet approval yesterday. The proposal has been tabled by the Prime Minister under the capacity of the Minister of Finance, Economic and Policy Development. The central bank, in consultation with the International Finance Corporation, formulated financial inclusion by convening relevant stakeholders to draft Sri Lanka's first national financial inclusion strategy, which was initially meant to be implemented from mid-2019. The intention of the plan is to provide access to formal financial services at a bearable cost to individuals and entrepreneurs. The proposed National Financial Inclusion Strategy expects to provide opportunity for all the citizens to access payments, savings, loans, insurance, as well as financial tools and services such as pensions. Meanwhile, during the weekly cabinet press conference, it was also announced that the government has approved to set up a state-owned property development institution to regulate 3 state-run hotels. Key luxurious hotels and tourism-related assets are owned by the institutions such as Treasury, Employees Provident Fund, Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation, Telecommunication Regulatory Commission and Bank of Ceylon. Hotels such as Grand Hyatt, Grand Oriental, Hilton and Lotus Tower Shopping Complex are pointed out as examples. It has been proposed to create a premium real estate portfolio by bringing such institutions under one unit, and it is revealed that incorporation of such assets has the potential to be further expansion of respective establishments in the future. Since it is not advisable to use state income or government borrowings to develop such property and assets, it will be easier to secure provisions through a high asset institution. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Prime Minister in his capacity as the Minister of Finance to take necessary steps to take Canville Group, Hotel Developers Private Limited, Grand Oriental Hotels under one institution owned by the Treasury, Bank of Ceylon and Sri Lanka Insurance Corporation. Stay tuned for more news right after this break. Welcome back after the break. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa had a meeting with the heads of media institutions this afternoon at the Presidential Secretariat. President highlighted the requirement of amending the 19th Amendment and having a two-thirds majority in the Parliament to achieve the target. Opening the forum, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that technology should be prioritized in the country, adding that his target is to develop it to a $3 billion industry from $1 billion at present. President also said as he was elected from the SLPP, he will be on the SLPP stage at the general elections and his target is to have a two-thirds majority in the parliament. He explained the requirement of amending the 19th Amendment to the Constitution and said that it blocks a smooth administration procedure. He also questioned as to how those independent commissions are really independent if the commission members make statements partial to some ethnicities. He also raised the present situation of the police commission and said that such kind of tussles should not be prevailed. The president also added that appointments to the graduates were already made. What left is absorbing to the relevant service after the completion of the due training. Meanwhile, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa also told the BIMSTEC Secretary General M. Shahidul Islam that Sri Lanka will host the next Bay of Bengal initiative for multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation summit known as BIMSTEC in early September this year. Sri Lanka is the chair of BIMSTEC from 2018 to 2020, and under the rationalizing of the sector, Sri Lanka will be the lead country for science, technology and innovation. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the country needs to ensure that all the citizens are equipped with new technological skills, raising their standard of living in a rapid and sustainable way, bringing them out of poverty and also making them productive contributors to the economy. President Rajapaksa made these observations at a forum with representatives of the ICT sector held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday.
Many countries around us, including India, Bangladesh, and almost all the ASEAN countries, have enjoyed a steady, if not accelerating, economic growth over the past several years, that we all know. This has gone hand in hand with the growth of the middle class in those countries. And I think only in India we have about 600 million middle class. In Sri Lanka too, the middle class has grown to some extent. However, despite such growth and improvements, we need to be aware that the poorest layer in our society currently face considerable difficulties. It is very important that we have to uplift this section, this layer of the society. We must ensure that the benefits of our economic growth will reach everyone in our society, especially the very poor.
The National Technology and Innovation Exhibition, known as Innotech 2020, will be held from 11th to 14th of this month at Pitipana in Homagama with the aim of showcasing research and development innovations of institutes and universities while promoting science literacy of the society. The information of Innotech 2020 was shared at a media briefing held at the Department of Government Information yesterday, headed by Information Mass Media, Higher Education, Technology and Innovation Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. According to him, 1,200 innovations from 100 schools, including northern and eastern provinces, will be exhibited at the Innotech 2020. Meanwhile, 15 universities and 60 tech-based institutes will also join together with the exhibition, which will be held at 300-acre technology hub in Pitipana, Homagama. The exhibition is organized under the guidance of Information Mass Media, Higher Education, Technology and Innovation Ministry, together with the Education Ministry and the State Ministry of Technology and Innovation. The main intention of this event is to incline the society towards a science and research-based society.
තාක්ෂණ හා නවෝත්පාදන ජාතික ප්‍රදර්ශනය හෝමාගම පිටිපොළ අධිතාක්ෂණ හා නවෝත්පාදන නගර පරිසරයේදී 2020 මාර්තු මාස 11 වෙනිදා සිට 14 වෙනිදා දක්වා.
One of the civil society organizations identified as Professionals National Front stresses that the interim committee appointed to review the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement has only studied the contents of the agreement, neglecting its overall effect to Sri Lanka, including the geopolitics of Sri Lanka.
The appointed committee is only looking about the MCC and not the whole picture. So that's our view as Professionals National Front. It is always required to look at the geopolitical situation and the hidden agenda of an agreement and think about the beliefs of the nationals of the country. As citizens of our country, we need to know the interim report and the contents of that one. So we expect our government will release that to the public. It is necessary to keep the transparency of this process for evaluating MCC.
Stay tuned for stock updates right after this break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 51.2 points to close at 5,484.25 and the S&P SL20 dropped 38 points to close at 2,548.31. The turnover was 759 million rupees and over 23 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. With that, we will wrap up today's news. Log into our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be alert on latest updates. Join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care and good night.